You probably think the answer is simple. Dogs are loyal. Dogs are friendly. Dogs became our best friends. But that isn't what happened. The real story is stranger, because humans never set out to create a best friend. You were looking for a survivor. Around 15,000 to perhaps even 30,000 years ago, long before cities, farms, or written language, your ancestors lived in small bands that followed migrating animals across vast frozen landscapes. Life was brutally uncertain. Every successful hunt meant another few days of survival. Every failure meant hunger. So why would dangerous wolves ever choose to live alongside equally dangerous humans? The answer begins with fear. Most wolves stayed as far away from people as possible. But not every wolf was the same. Some were naturally less aggressive. Some were curious. Some discovered that human camps left behind something incredibly valuable. Food. Not fresh meat. Not generous gifts. Broken bones. Discarded organs. Bits of fat too small for people to bother collecting. For a hungry wolf, it was an easy meal with far less risk than chasing deer across miles of snow. But getting close to humans was dangerous. Only the calmest wolves dared to approach. Generation after generation, those calmer wolves survived better than their more aggressive relatives. Without realizing it, humans had started changing wolves simply by existing. No cages, no breeding program, no grand plan. Just natural selection happening beside a campfire. Could friendship really begin with garbage? It sounds almost insulting. Yet many scientists believe exactly that. Evolutionary biologist Raymond Coppinger proposed that wolves essentially domesticated themselves by adapting to human settlements over thousands of years. The friendliest animals gained the biggest advantage. Then something unexpected happened. Humans noticed. A wolf that didn't attack immediately could become useful. It might bark when strangers approached. It could smell predators before humans noticed them. Its nose could find wounded prey hidden deep inside forests. Instead of competing, both species suddenly gained something. Protection, food, awareness. Neither species became weaker. Together, they became stronger. This is what scientists call mutualism. Two completely different species helping each other survive. Very few relationships in nature become this successful. But this one changed history forever. Research by archaeologist Pat Shipman suggests that early humans hunting alongside wolf-like companions may even have gained an advantage over rival human groups, including Neanderthals. Imagine standing in complete darkness. Your eyes see almost nothing, but beside you, an animal suddenly freezes. Its ears point into the distance. It smells danger minutes before you ever could. That warning could mean the difference between waking up tomorrow or never waking up again. Slowly, wolves became something new. Not because humans forced them, because both sides kept benefiting. Over thousands of years, their faces changed. Their bodies became smaller, their ears flopped. Their tails curled. Even their brains changed. Geneticist Dmitry Belyaev demonstrated something remarkable in his famous fox domestication experiment. When animals were bred only for friendliness, physical changes appeared automatically within just a few generations. Friendliness wasn't just changing behavior, it was reshaping the entire animal. Dogs became living proof of that process. But perhaps the biggest transformation happened inside the human brain. People began reading canine body language. Dogs learned to read human faces. Today, your dog can often understand where you're pointing even better than chimpanzees can. Think about that. Chimpanzees share far more DNA with you, yet dogs became better at understanding human social signals. Why? Because for thousands of years, paying attention to humans meant survival. Psychologist Brian Hare has spent decades studying this incredible ability. His research shows that dogs evolved specifically to cooperate with people in ways that almost no other species can. In a sense, dogs became specialists in understanding humans. And humans unknowingly became specialists in understanding dogs. Your friendship shaped both species. The bond became so strong that it spread across the entire world. Different environments needed different helpers. Some dogs guarded livestock. Others chased birds. Some pulled sleds across frozen landscapes. Others rescued people trapped beneath snow. Every job created another branch in the enormous family tree of dogs. Today, there are hundreds of breeds. They look completely different, yet beneath every fluffy companion, giant mastiff, tiny chihuahua, or lightning-fast greyhound lives the same ancient partnership that began beside forgotten campfires. But were dogs really the only option? Not at all. Humans encountered bears, foxes, hyenas, wild cats, countless other intelligent animals. So why didn't they become our closest companions? Because domestication is incredibly rare. An animal must tolerate living near humans. It must reproduce in captivity. It must have a flexible social structure. It must not panic constantly around people. It must provide more value than danger. Very few animals satisfy all those conditions. Wolves happen to be one of them, and humans happen to be the perfect partner. It was less like inventing friendship and more like discovering compatibility. Then something fascinating happened. The relationship stopped being purely practical. Ancient burials discovered across Europe and the Middle East revealed dogs buried beside humans with remarkable care. Some were placed in graves with ornaments. Others rested beside children. These weren't disposable hunting tools. They were companions, members of the family, individuals worth mourning. Thousands of years before the word pet even existed, science is now uncovering why that emotional bond feels so powerful. When you look into your dog's eyes, both your brain and your dog's brain release oxytocin, the same hormone involved in bonding between parents and children. Research led by Miho Nagasawa found that this shared gaze creates a biological feedback loop. The longer you look at each other, the stronger the bond becomes. In other words, your brain responds to your dog in surprisingly human ways. Your dog isn't pretending to love you. Its brain has evolved to build that connection, and yours has evolved alongside it. That doesn't mean every dog is perfect. Some are fearful, some become aggressive, some simply don't enjoy human company. Just like people, every individual is different. But as a species, dogs represent something almost impossible. A partnership that has survived ice ages, famines, migrations, wars, civilizations, and the rise of modern technology. They hunted beside your ancestors. They guarded sleeping families. They crossed oceans. They marched through battlefields. They searched disaster zones. They waited faithfully at front doors. And somehow, after tens of thousands of years, they still wag their tails when you come home from buying groceries. Maybe that's the most extraordinary part of all. Dogs didn't become humanity's closest companion because they were the strongest, or the smartest, or the fastest. They became our closest companion because two different species discovered that cooperation could outperform competition. Long before anyone understood evolution, long before anyone understood genetics, your ancestors made one of the most important partnerships in history simply by accepting that the stranger beside the fire didn't always have to become an enemy. So the next time your dog looks at you, remember this. You're not just seeing a pet. You're looking at one of the oldest friendships on Earth. A friendship that began not with love, but with survival. And perhaps that's exactly why it became love.